Hello, and welcome to the zoominghooskpodcast. I'm your host, Dustin DaHusky.
And I'm Kurdan Sourpuss.
And welcome. So this past weekend, I went on a little camping trip.
Yes.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about that.
Where did you go camping?
I went to the Wasaki Village Park.
Oh, yes.
And then afterwards we went to a bit of some antiquing and whatnot, but we'll get that in a little moment.
Nice.
And Kurdan, you would like to talk about games as well.
Do I?
Yes.
Okay. Well, kind of late to the game on this one. My bad.
Aw.
But Ori and the Will of the Wisps finally came out. Yay.
And it's a very pretty game.
Oh, yeah. It's so pretty. I think it came out actually back in March or April. And I finally got it. And it's just, it's gorgeous. The first time I played it, it brought me to tears.
The first one?
Well, the first game.
The first game.
But the first time I played this, it brought me to tears. It was just so cute. So touching. So beautiful.
It is. Let's get to that later, and I'll just go into camping.
Okay.
Then we'll go through the rung of subjects, and then we can talk about the fun stuff you find at antiquing and the visuals, which we'd call the visuals of gaming or the gaming background. I don't know, pretty much games in general have become pretty. So since Thursday, I went up to Wasaki Village Park with my dad and brother, and we went up camping at that park, which was actually a lot of fun. Very, very pretty park, although half of it's under construction because this year, I guess of any year, this is 2020, not many people have actually rented out the park, so all the renovations they'd want to do to it, like have pull-through RV locations in the back lower park of the whole park system, they're actually tore it completely out.
Wow.
They're going to redesign it so that it's both ordinary camping, like tent camping, to RV camping accessible. They're going to be making a second building for facilities and showering, so there'll be an opportunity to shower there. There's only facilities here. Not that you might not. It's not that you need it for camping a few days.
You need it.
But if you're there for a full week, yeah, you definitely need a shower there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're there for 1 or 2 days, you could probably go without a shower. Though, I guess you could.
So when you say camping, are we talking legit camping?
Yes.
Tents and everything?
Tents and everything. Me, my dad, and my brother, we all had our individual tents because, of course, social distancing, so that means we're all camping separately. Me and my dad brought our Zeltbons, or a German pyramid tent type of thing. Pretty old, pretty ancient, but it does a pretty good job at camping, but it does not have a floor. The floor is the earth itself.
Oh, wow.
My brother has a Coleman tent, so he has the luxury of a floor.
I need the Coleman.
After this weekend, as much as I enjoy tenting in a Zeltbond for how thick the canvas is, it keeps you warm at night, because it dropped down to 59 degrees.
Oh.
But it kept me warm throughout the whole night, so I can't argue with that. A Coleman tent has the security of zippers, has the added benefit of ventilation, because while in a Zeltbond, you're breathing in, your own breath becomes the heater, which is great because the canvas is hard to breathe through. There's no zipper in a Zeltbond. It's literally buttoned up panel sections that you...
Isn't that kind of ironic? A zipper in a Zeltbond? It's a Z already, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shouldn't it have a zipper?
The Germans did not like zippers back then.
Oh, we don't like the zippers.
That's too American. Oh.
Get your zipper out of here.
Get your zipper out of here. Although with the Zelpon, they're fun to camp in. However, they're a bear to put up together. You could, like as I did with my brother's tent the weekend before, I camped out in the backyard just to get in the spirit of camping, just to kind of do it. And I was able to put together my brother's tent, but the tent that he used up by myself in about maybe 15 minutes time. It doesn't take that long. You can be a bit faster with it. But if you had no one else but yourself to put up a tent, you can get it done in about 20 minutes time. And it's not much time to tear it down. In fact, it's less the time to tear down the tent, pack it away, than it is to put it up. So.
And you're talking the Coleman.
The Coleman tent, which is something I'll have to look into in the future. Because I love camping. I enjoy my Zelpons for reenacting, but you're going to a different time period of a different century. I'm starting to really enjoy zippers, plastic mesh bottoms for your tents. That way you're kind of off the ground, so you're not with nature. Although I didn't breathe any spiders in, so I'm doing pretty good on that front. But as far as like
concerned about spiders than I am ants.
Yeah,
I don't want ants sleeping with me.
It's not another reason why I would want to get a Coleman tent for camping in the modern sense, but you're literally sharing the earth with the ground, and to be honest, it's not so much the insects that I'm actually worried about. It's my damp balls.
Yes.
And the only reason why I say that is that when you have damp crotch and you're camping, and when that dew point drops in the morning, you wake up because the only thing that's still wet are your balls.
Mm-hmm.
And you immediately wake up from a dead sleep like, oh, I'm cold down there, and I don't know, oh, damn you, dew.
I
absolutely hate it. It's the one thing about camping I dislike. It's not so much the sleeping part, because I can eventually sleep. It's the following morning when the damp has already come and gone.
Yep.
And then you know it immediately. If you're a male,
yep.
If you are a male, you will understand the damp is there when you feel it in your balls. Nothing else. Your feet are fine, your arms are fine, you're nice and warm, and then all of a sudden, your balls are damp. It's because you share the ground. The bottom of your tent is the earth, so you have a direct contact. You have direct contact with the earth, which is damp now. That's what sucks. Once you're in a tent, you're isolated from that dampness because dew collects on top of tents and around it. However, the ground underneath the tents are usually damp.
Right.
However, since there's a barrier between you and the ground, you don't feel damp. That's one of the few things I hate about camping is the damp part of getting up in the morning. Then the awkwardness of, oh God, I really need to use the bathroom, but I'm so warm, but I feel so damp down there. Do I really have to get out of bed? So then you get out of bed feeling more damp because now you are exposing the rest of yourself as, oh. But beyond that, the tenting, the camping part, I totally enjoy. Although I think in the future I'm going to look into getting an actual tent, not an old ancient tent. I'll regulate that to reenacting.
So the way you're painting this picture, and I just imagine you sleeping naked with dirt.
I could be doing that. Oh, what does he do? Well, he camps naked.
He's humping the dirt.
He's humping the dirt with his moist balls.
It's like a sleeping bag or something, though.
I sleep on top of the sleeping bag because it's too warm. And I need a bit of padding. Which, it's worse when you sleep in a sleeping bag. You're still part of the earth. And the dampness just finds a way in. Not so much, but it does find a way in.
What do you actually sleep under, then? I mean, you're sleeping on top of a sleeping bag, on top of earth.
And I have layers of wool blankets on top of me to keep me warm during the night. Which,
oh, God.
Actually, believe it or not, it's not a bad idea. It's actually pretty comfortable.
Oh.
except the itchiness. But if you're a reenactor like me, the itchiness doesn't bother you anymore. That's almost 14, 15 years of reenact. Actually, it would be 15 years of reenactor when you're used to wearing wool uniforms and whatnot. You just tend to ignore it at that point.
So, like you know me, because we have a history,
Mm-hmm.
and sharing a bed, I would flip the cover off and just be under a sheet because I heat up so much.
You are a warm poos.
I'm the warmest loaf there is.
He is a loaf radiating in heat.
Yep.
And then here I am, as this past weekend, I'm bundled up in 2 layers of really thick wool blankets, and I'm as happy as can be. Whereas,
I'd be dead.
Yeah, you'd be sweating. You would have genuine moist balls.
Mm-hmm.
Me, it's just I had, well, moist balls, except warm.
I'd be a moist bald loaf.
As far as the sleeping goes, and as far as where I slept with tent, besides that, I had a fun time. My dad ended up renting this spot, and
I thought you said spa for a second.
spa. Oh, I wish it came with a spa. It would have been nice to take a dip, but the Wasaki River is not the cleanest thing. It is brown. Probably because of all the sewage the farmers put into it. And if you're not familiar with Wasaki, it's a beautiful town. It's in the middle of nowhere. There are more people in the cemetery than there are in the town. So in this case, very, very small community, but it's big enough to have a bowling alley.
How far north is that from like the Milwaukee area?
3 hours north, and it's about 5 minutes away from the border with Upper Michigan.
That close?
Yeah.
Really? So it's up past Sheboygan and all that.
In fact, most of all the people who live in the town all work in Michigan because there's more work to do in Michigan than there is in that part of the state. But my dad was able to rent out the upper 8 portion of the park. They're separated between 8 and I think 32. Okay. 32 or 42 different lots. And the lower 42, which is the bigger lot of the whole park, is under total renovation. The grass doesn't exist anymore. It's just a mountain of earth.
Doesn't sound very pretty.
No. I took a picture of it. It's pretty dumb. However, I'm hoping next year they'll have better facilities to where I wouldn't mind camping there for a few days like I did this past weekend. And it's $25 a night.
That's nothing.
And you get a electrical box. So you can bring whatever electronics that you want on your camping trip. Which we had a power strip, so we were able to power up our phones. And to inflate mattresses. Oh, I'm getting old enough to the point where my body is somewhat broken. My lower back is broken. And got a bum right ankle, but the ankle doesn't bother me while I sleep. It's mostly my back. And on Thursday night, as I'm trying to lay there on the ground, being touched by a tree's root, which was probably caressing me at that point, I felt my back pop in 3 places just by twisting it to lean over the other way. And I could feel the pop, pop, pop of my spine. And my brother across the tree says, "Who the hell is that?" And I, "Oh, don't worry, it's me."
Wow.
So
maybe you should just sleep on a tree root from now on.
I might. Actually, it felt good, so I may have to sleep directly on a tree. Screw the ground. I'm going to have to tie myself to a tree so that way it'll need its action onto me. But it's come to a decision that if I'm going to go camping, certainly want a newer tent, but a tent big enough to house a good-sized mattress.
Yep.
Kind of like that one time where you and I camped with some locals back in 2016.
Yeah.
That worked out pretty good.
There were 3 full-size
mattresses
air
in
mattresses in there.
So it was incredibly long tent.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was only tall as it needed to
It
be.
was like a small house.
I don't feel like doing RVing anytime soon, but
No.
but yeah, small house really described it. But it's getting to the point where I enjoy camping. I enjoy the rustic feel of a good campground. Camping, you're making your own fire, you're making your own food directly over the fire. You have some amenities, but you are really enjoying it just to do it. But it's now come to my discovery that with just camping, I may end up just buying a inflatable mattress just to kind of sleep on it because you know what? I'm starting to appreciate back support now as I'm getting older.
Yep.
It's much like saying a car these days. You want to find a car that you can comfortably sit in for hours at a time. Back comfort when you get a little bit older, and I'm not that old, but it is nice to find something that is a comfortable fit because you know that you're going to sit your ass in it. When you're camping, you're sure as hell going to be laying your back on something, and it may be a tree root, and it's going to give you chiropractic help along the way. I feel like it's probably better that I just get an inflatable mattress just to kind of enjoy a little bit when I'm sleeping.
So when do I get to see a picture of Pooh Mountain?
Pooh Mountain.
Or whatever you call it. What was that place called that you camped at again?
Camped at. Pooh Mountain.
Yeah, because you said it was all dirt. So I'm imagining Pooh Mountain.
I do have it on my digital SLR. I brought a camera with me to take pictures of everything and just to kind of record and have posterity for something. Just to say we were there. I did take a picture of the lower 42 lots that you can rent. And yeah, it's just literally a field of earth. They ripped out the grass. They're going to make it totally flat, so
it's Shit Mountain, basically.
Oh yeah, there's actually certain spots where it is Shit Mountain.
Speaking of posterity, too, and pictures you've taken for posterity. Mm-hmm. Do you remember one of the first times you and me hung out down in Illinois and we went walking?
Yeah.
Around the campus, the college campus there.
What's that, Wabansie?
No, that was Aurora University.
Oh, okay.
We came across a house that had really interesting things all set up around it.
Oh, God, yeah.
Remember?
Yep. And I was taking a picture of the shit show. That is this crazy lady's front yard, which has not only a picket fence.
Not picket fence.
Is it chain link?
No, it wasn't chain link.
It's like a garden fence.
No, it was literally just like sticks.
That's right.
Just like kind of like tied together in a very Blair Witch Project type of way.
And there's like stuff all over the yard. She had doggy poop bags because she wanted to be environmentally friendly with your dog.
We called it, what do we call that?
Shit bags.
No, we called it something else.
Crazy lady shit bags.
No, it was like the voodoo poop bag.
Voodoo poop bag. There we go.
It was the voodoo poop bag. You took multiple pictures of the voodoo poop bag.
I did.
And then we walked away, and she actually confronted us about it.
She has confronted us about a photo I've taken of her pedestal of her voodoo poop bag. And I did not have a digital camera. I had a film camera, a 35mm Yashica.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you can't delete a photo if it's film.
No, you cannot.
It's imprinted chemically on a film backing. So
it's there for life now.
Yep. And she asked us what we were doing, and I said, "Oh, I'm taking pictures for archive." An archive of what? Well, just simply
for posterity.
For posterity. And then she looked at us and she walked away.
Thank God.
Didn't she have like these little goofy glasses that made her eyes
look huge, like almost like
almost look like Milton from Office Space, right?
Oh my God, yes.
Now that was weird.
That was so weird. I'm sorry to get off track.
But anyway, yeah, I have taken a picture of Poop Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping next year that they will finish this project and this campground is going to look amazing. So I really look forward to next year that that things are going to look pretty amazing. And some lots have a water spigot.
Nice.
Obviously for RV use, but you can use it for your own use as well.
Fancy.
So you have your own electrical box.
Hardly sounds like camping anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In Boy Scouts, we never had electrical outlets or water. We carried our own water from a universal common spigot in the middle of the campgrounds, and you carried your bucket of water everywhere you went.
Yep.
So we had it tough.
Yeah.
Although now I can say, old Hoosk, and I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to go to the facilities to get water anymore. Oh, I can get it from my campsite, which, to be honest, is good for cleaning. Yeah, you want to bring your own potable water because you can't drink park water.
Right.
But it is nice to have cleaning water for once. And bless his heart, but my dad, what he brought to the campsite was snacking foods and literally 3 cans of beans, 3 cans of soup.
Progresso.
Yep, Progresso.
I heard him talk about it.
And 3 boxes of Kraft mac and cheese. And I kind of asked him, you sure this might be enough?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not that we're going to eat out like kings while camping.
Right.
But it almost seemed like, is this going to be enough for the 3 days we're going to be here? Because he was thinking about having breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And with snacks. So you got Chex Mix, you got brownies, and other stuff. And I was having a hard time imagining that it was actually going to work. And it turned out it worked okay. Although, I ended up buying bacon. Because you know what? If I'm camping, I'm making bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Bacon is a requirement for camping. If you go out and camp and you don't have even a day's worth supply of bacon, what are you doing?
You're not camping.
Because you need bacon. And bacon's so easy to cook. You have a cast iron skillet or you have a enamel pan, which actually enamel pans, get this. Cast iron skillet, the whole thing gets hot.
Yeah.
You put a enamel pan on top of a fire, the handle does not get hot. You learned something today. I thought it was going to get boiling hot because it's metal. No, the enamel insulates it quite well, and it cooks bacon incredibly fast. And an entire packet of bacon that you just don't put. Now me, when I cook bacon, so much bacon all at once. I put 12 slices of bacon in one pan.
As much as you can fit in one pan.
Yep. And guess what? Loads of grease.
Yep.
But I was able to actually lightly not only cook the bacon without burning it, because I don't like burnt bacon. Yeah, you can have a burnt bacon, but
I like it crispy.
I like it crispy. I like it crispy with a little bit of bend. But when you can actually fry your own bacon within its own grease over a fire, you get the nice cooked hotness of bacon with a little bit of bend in it. But not too much bend as if it was undercooked.
Yeah.
But with the grease, it almost fries it into a nice crispy texture. It is beautiful.
Yes.
Zeus, the man of lightning, cooks his bacon this way.
God of lightning.
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure he does. I like cooking in a cast iron skillet.
Oh, cast iron skillets are amazing.
You cannot beat a cast iron. You can't even find them in a lot of places anymore. You got to go to a
Antique store,
surplus, army supplies type store maybe.
I'll be touching up on the subject a bit, but if you're looking for a cast iron skillet, definitely go to an antique shop because they've got tons of them. And you know what? Reduce, reuse, recycle. And yeah, I do like the environment. You know, it's good to take care of it. However, why buy something brand new when you could probably find it used elsewhere? Hence, a cast iron skillet doesn't go wrong. It rusts, but once you can clean off the rust, and you oil it like you should, you can still use it.
Yep, just got to make sure to oil it.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And do not wash it with soap, because you will make it rust. You want to clean it with oils.
Yep.
We had fun. We did some hiking. However, we were going to do some fishing, but 2 of the 4 bridges ceased to exist in this town.
Aww.
Because it was washed out by some kind of rainstorm in the last year. 2 of the bridges are already in disrepair, so it was fun walking across them. One of them had the railing totally gone on one side, and the other was uprooted from its foundations and carried a few feet. So now the bridge is on an angle. But we still walked across it because you know why? Hiking. I have to say it was really enjoyable. It was nice to get away. Surprisingly, for the first time in years, I was able to get a little bit of outside connection with the world. Normally, if I bring my phone, it's usually meant as a timepiece.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time ever, on consecutive days, I was able to at least hook up with the internet for a short moment just to keep tabs on stuff. And it was kind of nice. Yeah, it wasn't forever, but it didn't need it to. I was enjoying my time camping. Just wanted to make sure things weren't on fire.
Yeah.
I have to say, camping was really, really relaxing. It helped me clear my thoughts a bit. It was really, really fun. And then afterwards, me, my dad, and my brother went antiquing, which I haven't done in so long. Because most of all my film cameras, I either buy from Goodwill or get at a antiques shop. And often enough doesn't require much more than batteries. Normally, I don't like to keep a camera that is mechanically broken. Because I like old film cameras. I grew up with electronic film cameras growing up in the 90s and 2000s. And it was my uncle's camera was my first camera. So I grew up with film. And I never really stopped because I didn't get my first digital camera until 2009. So really, really late. Well, we decided after our visit up in Wasaki, we went to the farmhouse, cut the grass, kind of just make sure things were okay. We found a ton of wolf spiders caught in glue traps. And these guys were huge.
Wolf spiders can get big.
Oh my god, they're so cute.
They are cute.
It's so sad that they find a way in and they get stuck in glue traps. For the record, I don't like spiders because I think they're a bit scary.
Yes, I do too.
I'm afraid of spiders. I find them fascinating. I respect them.
I definitely have a fear and respect for spiders.
Yeah. But my number 1 rule, I will never kill a spider unnecessarily. Well, like, I should not have to kill a spider if I see one.
If it's in your personal space, though.
If I'm in the bathroom and one crawls on me, I'm grabbing a hammer. Like, immediately, you lost your right to live. As a spider, if you threaten me while on the throne. However, other cases, if you're out and about, you're doing your spider thing, you know what? I respect you, spider. I'm going to let you do your thing.
Remember the spider that dropped down, like, right above my face?
While showering?
No, well, that too. I had one there too. I have like the worst luck with spiders. They just gravitate to me. I don't know why. But I had one that dropped down while I was sleeping. I woke up kind of in a haze and saw him like kind of lowering down towards me, and I kind of fell back asleep. Woke up like maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds later, and he's like inches within my face, and I'm like, that's it. I roll out from underneath him, and I swear to God, by the time I like was able to like refocus, he was on my pillow. He would have been on my face, and I was like, that's it. It's go time. I grabbed the first book I could find. I kind of blew at him to make him crawl back up the web that he had made, that he dropped down on. And on his way back up, I closed the book on him. Because there was no other way to do it. I wasn't going to touch him with my hands.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I just
Icky.
can't. No, very much.
And your thought, the book killed him, not you.
Yep. the book.
Yeah,
Breeding is deadly.
Yeah. It's sad that I have to kill a spider. However,
you need to fix it. Your computer falls asleep on you.
I have to keep moving my mouse to make sure that it doesn't do that.
Yeah, you gotta fix that.
But yeah, so we were at the farmhouse. We checked things out. Wolf spiders everywhere of different sizes, which was sad because I've seen full-grown wolf spiders, and they are a powerful sight to see.
Oh yeah.
And you have to respect them. However, they're fuzzy.
They are fuzzy.
But boy, holy cow, are they terrifying to look at.
Don't get distracted by a moth.
And the Hoosk killed a moth. I have cat-like reflexes as a Hoosk. With my feet. With my hands, no. So, me, my dad, and my brother went out to an antique shop in Appleton. Manitowoc. We went to a place in Manitowoc. And we decided to explore this really cool antique shop, which has just about everything. License plates, books, all other stuff. A lot of interesting, weird stuff that I would not expect to actually see. And then stuff that's just plainly cool to look at. And I decided to buy a few things for the first time in a long time, because you know what? If I find something that's cool that I'm actually going to use or enjoy, or it's part of a collection of mine, I might buy it. And that's a big might.
Right.
Because sometimes it's like, you know what? I don't need one. Or, hey, I already have 20 of these. You know, it's...
Canteens. You missed him.
Oh. Yeah, I'll get him later.
Moth is our special guest today.
We have a moth that we're trying to eliminate, but you know what?
Welcome our special guest, Moth.
You're fine with us for now. So, I decided to actually look around, and I found a few books. I only bought 2 books this time. One of a pretty well-known black comedian in the 1960s, and I think his name is Dick George.
Okay.
I think it's Dick George. I forget exactly what, but he's a well-known comedian. I may have to double check on that, but I'm not going to. So I guess double checking was fruitless.
Later.
And I bought a book about card playing, which is called Howl, Up-to-Date Official Rules of Card Games.
Up to date. I love it.
And the last time this was up to date was 1956.
That's real up to date.
And this is the 50th edition.
Wow.
So the first edition was printed in 1887.
Wow. That's crazy up to date there. I wonder if they have an up to date one.
You have to wonder.
Because Howl still makes... They make card games? Don't they make like decks of cards?
They might. But a fun bit about this is that I enjoy some card games. I don't know many card games, which is why I bought this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. But there's some card games I've never heard of before. Though, I would not mind learning how to play some of them. So, who knows? I might maybe make a small mini-series just to how to understand how to play some of these games. Like, there's a game called Chicago. There is obviously a game called Couchette, which is French. There is one game called Crapette.
I've heard of Crapette.
Of course, you got cribbage, crazy eights, poker, blackjack. There's a lot of well-known games.
I'm surprised that they didn't have the one that I was talking about the other day. The Bugs Bunny. He gets...
Pisha Pisha.
Pisha Pisha.
Yeah.
He gets pulled into a saloon, and he says to the guy, "I only know how to play Pisha Pisha and Old Maid." And I
Right.
don't think Pisha Pesha is a real game. Because I've researched it, and there's no such thing as Pisha Pesha.
Maybe it's something so oddly obscure.
I think Mel
I think he made something up
I
just
think Mel
to...
Blanc just made it up just to sound funny. But Old Maid is real.
Right.
It's not in there though, is it?
I'm sure probably is.
'Cause I've heard of
Old Maid, yep.
Yep, that is real.
So I might maybe play around with this book just to understand how some of the game mechanics work. Although I might use the internet for cheating just to understand a game in motion. Because I'm a person that enjoys to learn by watching rather than reading instructions. Although some instructions do come in handy to explain a few things, but I really enjoy learning just by watching.
But visual and audio. Like during game nights with Decknell.
Yes.
What was the game we played? Where it was killing.
Roll for the Galaxy. Or no, Killing Hitler.
I think Killing Hitler. They went through and verbally explained it, and it clicked with me.
Yeah.
I didn't have to see it in action before I could understand.
Some games are good with that.
Yeah, I can understand it almost immediately.
And then games like Roll for the Galaxy, on the other hand, you almost need to play it to understand how it works. And I do like Roll Against the Galaxy. It wasn't until Decknell, which beforehand, trying to understand it, it wasn't clicking with me.
It wasn't clicking with me either, but that was because had already been up for like 17 hours.
Right. So for you, it was lack of sleep. Me, it was just me being stupid. But one day, Decknell had invited me over and say, look, you're going to play this game with me, and I'm going to be NPC for like 4 other players, and you're going to play.
And
so,
don't get me wrong, I love Decknell. Decknell
is awesome.
Is very awesome, and I miss game night.
I miss game night a lot.
I want game night back. Decknell, if you hear this, please make us wear masks and socially distance us.
I think it'd be fun to play games in his backyard.
Oh God, I want so bad. That's like
we may have to talk to him. We may have to talk to him.
Since I moved up here, that's probably my favorite local event.
In the Seawee or Southeast Wisconsin first area.
Yeah, game night. Fucking game night, man. I loved it. One night of just playing...
board games.
No, what was the specific game?
Card game, tile game, board game.
It was a board game where you have the different settlements.
Settlers of Catan.
Yeah.
That's a fun game.
Absolutely addicted. I beat the crap out of everybody the first time I played.
Oh, it's a very fast game to learn. It is enjoyable.
And I was hooked.
It is a fun game of mine. I should get... Actually, my brother has a copy of that game. I should steal it from him.
We need to play it.
We need to play it. I agree. So I bought that.
Bring back game night.
I should maybe talk to him and see if he can have like a small number of people to show up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of meets are big around here. So obviously, because of COVID, you want a social distance. You want to have less than 10 people. Game night maybe 12, 10 people, or 10, 12 people at most in the past. Although we once had 20 people show up, and that was nuts. So we had three different game tables playing at the same time, which was cool. I should maybe talk to him just to kind of see if he might like the idea of just doing a small game night with just a few people.
Yeah.
I think I'll ask him that. So I bought that book thinking, hey, I could play more card games. I like card games. They're very simple. At most, you really need is a deck or two and some friends. And you can have fun with that alone. And a deck of cards is pretty easily transportable, so you can actually play wherever you want, which is why card games are amazing. I bought a French World War I helmet. I don't have a French World War I helmet, but I decided to buy one. It's 15 dents of glory. This thing's got more dents than I've ever seen before, but it is pretty cool. It's got character. Yeah, this weekend was a lot of fun for a lot of reasons. Just camping and going thrift shopping. Sometimes it's just nice just to walk around and see what a store has, especially one out of your typical area. Because once you go to a thrift store too often, you see the same crap. And a lot of the crap doesn't move. So you obviously know all this stuff is really not worth what they want to sell it to.
Right.
It's just they want to get as much money out of it. But you also have to wonder, well, I do not want to spend $20 on an old 100-year-old wooden chair.
No.
However, if I were looking for a 100-year-old wooden chair for a dining room set, if I wanted to restain, have a rustic feel and whatnot, then that's one thing. Because when you go up north, compared to any thrift store in the Milwaukee area, thrift stores up north will have more stuff from farming families than you will find anything else.
That's cool.
So you have wooden furniture up the wazoo. There was an entire back lot, one entire warehouse full of wooden furniture. Hundreds of wooden chairs, hundreds of wooden tables, and this stuff is built to last forever.
Oh, yeah.
IKEA makes some great furniture, but the problem is it won't last 50 years, let alone 20. Some of the wooden furniture here will last another 100 years in the same warehouse because it's not going to get thrown out. Because this is actual workmanship, like craftsmanship to a higher degree that we'll never see again. Made from high quality wood.
Right.
And today we can't even make chairs in that kind of quality as they did 100 years ago for that cost.
Yep.
It's unfortunate that I'm not in the market to buy more chairs, because I'm not in the market to buy any chairs. We already had a full car packed anyway, so I couldn't buy anything huge.
Right.
But antiquing's really fun, and you might be able to find something that you may want to buy that will be useful to you, because it's good to buy something that is cool, but it's fantastic to buy something you're actually going to use. My dad bought a brand new in-the-box Coleman white gas lantern.
Wow.
I think it's from the 1980s, and it still has the tags on top of the lantern, still came with its original invoice, and plastic carry case. Not only that, but it's got the original filament bags that are still tied to the nozzles. Never been even burnt. They're still intact. So this was a ready-to-use lantern that was never been used. It was bought by someone who either went camping or camped infrequently and never bothered to use it.
Probably.
And if you've never used a Coleman white gas lantern, they are incredible. I've used them in Boy Scouts. They really light up an area, and it's fantastic. So my dad bought that for $25.
Nice.
And brand new online, I think they're like 50 or $80. So you get a good deal when you go thrift shopping.
Oh, definitely. I love thrifting.
If it's something you can use often within a year, I'd say you're getting your money's back and more.
I think in the time that we've known each other, we've gone thrift shopping.
Oh yeah.
Yearly.
Or that, or it's Goodwill.
Yeah, or Goodwill. I have countless videos of you
being weird,
sitting on exercise equipment the way it shouldn't be sat on.
Yep.
And
using weight machines the way you shouldn't use weight machines.
Oh yeah. There was like a chair. No, it was some kind of bicycle or something. It was like an exercise bike that you were using.
Yeah.
This odd, fun, stupid, fun. Love doing stuff like that.
You actually get a lot of good memories just by thrift shopping of just the stuff you see and your own reaction to it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, hey, look at this. This is the anal prolapser 3000.
Oh, yes.
And they say the FDA would not ever approve it, but they did, and it prolapsed anuses. So, yeah, it's funny to actually look at stuff that probably should not be touched with or even bought.
And you found a lot of license plates. You found a lot of plates at a few thrift stores down by me, too.
Yep. And actually, a lot of Illinois plates that I did not have that I wanted to collect. And if you like collecting license plates, the best deals to find out-of-state plates is to go into a state and buy them from there. Wisconsin plates are going to be cheaper in Wisconsin than you will find elsewhere. Whereas I went to South Dakota. I bought plates there for $2 a piece. And I bought pairs of these plates for cheap. Whereas in Wisconsin, buying a South Dakota plate might be $10-$30.
So it's all supply.
So it's all supply and demand. And if I don't want to touch a plate that's $30 from out of state, that I could probably find a better deal by going to that state, it's better off to do that. I would normally display my plates in my room along the wall, but I use 3M command hooks, and they like to fall in the middle of the night, and they scare the crap out of me.
Unfortunately, they failed over time. I mean, a lot of those were up for years.
Yep. And then eventually
they
failed because it's too heavy. It's not to say that they failed because they're cheap. The command strips do work. I do recommend them.
If you did like 2 plates per hook.
I went as down as this lower end by the conduit.
That's too many.
Yeah, that was too many.
2 plates per 2 hooks would probably be sufficient because those have stayed.
I think I could probably go
maybe 3,
4 or 6 at most, and then cut it from there.
I wouldn't push it, but
I would like to get them back up again.
You don't want to scare yourself in the middle of the night again.
I thought it was a ghost at first, and it turned out to be one of these plates that fell, hid itself behind my dresser drawer, and did not find it till weeks later. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't a ghost after all, duh. So, yeah, I scared myself needlessly. So that's my experiences so far this weekend. I'm gonna go to you, and
you're gonna go to me. What are you're gonna go to me, huh?
Let's talk
you're
about
gonna friggin' go to me, huh?
I'm gonna go to you about games.
What the frig are you talking about?
We're talking about Ori.
We're talking about Ori again.
I am not shit talking that Ori, because Ori's a good game.
Ori's a good game. I mean, the music, the characters, the scenery, everything about it is so wonderful.
I think what I was meant to say earlier was game design.
Austria. Is it Austria? I believe the game developer is out of Austria.
So they're out of Europe.
Yeah. Blue Moon Studios. They're absolutely phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about them and the Ori games. If you have not played them, please do. Please do yourself a favor. If you like side-scrolling adventure games,
the classic style of gaming.
It's basically, I want to call it Metroidvania, Metroid/Castlevania, but in just so huge dimension is just, it's wonderful. And
some of those scenes make me cry.
Oh yeah!
Just how beautiful and how sweet the story is.
The huge wolf that chases you in the first.
Oh, that was cute and amazing.
Yep. I mean, it's just wonderful. And play it. It's worth every penny. I'm playing on PC.
Where can you find this game for our audiences?
I got mine through the Steam store because I really don't buy the physical version of games anymore. I can't. I had so many games before I moved, and the boxes took up so much space and everything, and it's just so much easier to just have the digital copy of it. So
that way they're always on hand.
Yep. As long as you have internet connection, of course.
Right.
I mean, once you've got it installed, you can play it without internet, but
I think it's for updates, right?
Updates, patches. If you install a new computer and you have a new operating system and you have to put Steam back on your computer, and obviously you're probably going to have to, if you have a new hard drive, you're going to have to reinstall things again. I think. I don't know. I'm not hugely proficient. I mean, I've gotten a few games through Steam now. More than I ever have in in early years of my life. Steam has pissed people off in the past. So, what was it? One game? No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
That was a game. Oh my God. That guy, and I don't think it was his fault entirely.
The weird futuristic game of exploding dead people, right?
No, it was the Explore Planet and dinosaurs and Jurassic Park music and then the harmonica. Yeah. The problem with that game, and I want to get hugely into it because I'm not real familiar with it. And I know there's been patches and updates, and the game has been hugely improved since its initial release, but the whoever it was that was backing him pushed that guy to get that game out so early. I think when the game was released, it was probably 30 or 40% done, not even halfway complete.
Oof.
And they had orders, people had placed pre-orders for it.
I'm sure stores probably.
Oh yeah, I mean it was $60, I believe. I believe it was $59.99. And when the game got released, and people saw how incomplete it was and how buggy and
how ugly.
Ugly. I mean, it looked nothing like what they
the preview
showed in the expo at the show, at the Consumer Electronics Show. So, I mean, right, there's a life lesson learned. I mean, don't let a backing production company force you to release a game that's not complete. If you know it's not ready. Because, I mean, that guy made television appearances.
Mm-hmm.
He went on talk shows and talked about how you can see other players and see yourself and do this. And you couldn't do any of the things he talked about. You couldn't do, like, literally all the things he said were going to happen were not possible in the initial release. I don't know how it is now, and I'm sure some of you listening may have some experience, some firsthand. I don't have firsthand. One of my best friends bought it, and he's played it and he's updated me about some of the things since they've patched the game up, and you know you can build your own house now with all the things you collect and everything, but it just doesn't sound like how it was originally conceived to be. But that's just me ranting about another game on Steam. I do want to mention, as far as games in particular, Skyrim is still huge for me. And that game came out in 11/11/11.
Ooh.
It's coming up on its 9-year anniversary this November. And I know there's talk about another Elder Scrolls game coming out, but I still can't stop playing Skyrim. And you can't stop watching
Gamer Poop by Mashima or something?
Yeah. Mashima.
Oh no, Manslayer.
Manslayer, yep. Shout out to that guy. Talk about quality content.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm so glad that he renewed interest in his Skyrim Gamer Poop series, because that's been going on since 2012. And I'm so glad that recently he started doing new videos, because you know what? It's still relevant. The game is still relevant. It's still a popular game.
And there's nothing like, I mean, all the audio that he basically splices and re-puts back together into these most ridiculous statements and sentences. I mean, even just like today I was playing Skyrim and I was just getting annoyed with my NPCs because all they do is go, and need something?
They need to be more like Manslayer's videos.
Oh, yeah.
I wish there was like a feature where it would allow you to plug in interesting phrases from his videos.
I mean, there's mods. I'm sure. I mean, I haven't really looked lately, but there's mods that really change the way the game sounds, looks, and plays. But I mean, Jarl Balin, was it?
Awesome. I am Lord of the Rings. I am the ruler of right. Damn it, right one.
Whiterun.
Whiterun. There we go. Call me if you need me. Call me if you need reefer.
And I be ballin'.
Back in France, when I was a little girl, the boys in the village would whisper my name. Oh, Balgriff. Oh, Balgriff. When will you show us the fine pussy?
Pussy.
Do you get to the Cloud District often? No, of course you don't. I'll have you know there's no pussy. Ah!
Yeah.
I would really recommend, if you're bored out of your mind, someday, in the future, today, or tomorrow, or yesterday,
Whatever.
if you're a time traveler, last month, if you're bored out of your mind, you're on the internet, and you want to just amuse yourself with silliness, you don't want to do anything else, you want to find a nice playlist that will be good background or just something to watch, I'd highly recommend watching Manslayer's Gamer Poop series of all the games he plays, but most particular, Oblivion and Skyrim. Both of those two are pretty good. And
what's the other game?
I know.
I Like Your Ass.
I like your ass. You're lying, Morgan.
What is that game?
L.A. Noire, but...
No, it's a space game. I can't think of... Captain...
Oh, no. We'll Bang, okay? That's
We'll Bang,
from
okay.
Mass Effect.
Yep, that's Mass Effect. Well, bang, okay?
I'm from a publication called Battle Tits. Report to my stateroom. We'll Bang, okay? Shepard, are you ready to be a woman now? Oh, it's just a dream. Shepard, ah!
Commander Shepard, man.
Oh, what I would do to get between his sweet ass.
I love that the guy that does the voice actually said, "We'll bang, okay?"
Yeah.
At cons for people. I mean, talk about this, like, dancing monkey for people, but, I mean, the fact that he, like, legitimately enjoyed what Gamer Poop did with the things that his character said, and the fact that he would, like...
Do it
for people, it's like, oh, God, I love that.
The voice actor?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He literally said, "We'll bang, okay?"
That is flipping hilarious.
On camera, somebody came up to him and said, "Would you say it for us?" And he was like,
Okay.
"We'll bang, okay?"
Oh. And then every single person's pants was wet from that moment.
All pregnant.
Including the men.
Yep. Men and women all got pregnant from that. The guy that plays the voice of Commander Shepard is a pretty handsome guy, too. He's good looking. Yep. Definitely. But that's my gaming cat corner.
Yeah, it's just enjoyable to, if you just kind of want to just put something on YouTube, just to put something on YouTube, it's fun to put on Manslayer's videos just because they're funny, they're weird.
Definitely.
They're absolutely weird and funny at the same time. And back in the day when I ran the Milwaukee Denny's meet, this is going back 5 to 7 years now, because I ran that between 2013 and 2015 until it folded. And this meet I ran every Thursday for 3 years, minus going to conventions. And that was only 3 times a year. So of an entire year, I spent every Thursday running a meet because I had nothing else better to do. But that's great because nothing else better to do.
Yep.
And we were able to get away with so much at this Denny's restaurant in Milwaukee off of North Avenue, off the exit of North Avenue. We had the back area. Well, no one sat there during that day because they all knew us weirdos would be there to watch weird YouTube videos.
The furries are here.
Yep. So we would. So we would get our waters or sodas, teas.
Avoid, deny, defend.
And then I'd get my usual nachos, because you know what? Nachos are great. Someone would bring their laptop with them, get into the Denny's Wi-Fi.
Of course.
And start playing the most ridiculous shit on blast that might possibly be heard from 50 feet away from the nearest table that is...
So basically the entire restaurant.
Nearly. And they allowed us to do what the hell they want, because you know what?
You don't want any trouble, man.
Well, they just didn't care, which was glorious. And we did that with so many weird videos. We did that with Gamer Poop. We watched Die Fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
That weird video.
Yep.
Which, for those who are not familiar with Die Fantasy, it is a quite beautiful, beautiful song paired with the most grotesque video that, for a point, and I don't know if it still is, when this video was posted on YouTube, or like the people of YouTube that run the website, were wondering if this video should be allowed to be on their website because of its grotesque nature. Which is actually, the video was made by French people, and you've seen Die Fantasy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what it's actually about?
No idea.
It's about safe sex. If you actually believe it. The video is actually about safe sex, although it's actually a music video. So it's really, really weird. But it's so dark and weird that YouTube said, you know what, this video's okay, but nothing worse than this.
But you say dark and weird, nothing worse than that, but isn't Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared more dark and weirder than that?
Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. What is
the
that?
The little puppets, like singing about time.
Oh.
Going on a journey. Through time. And like
that's
like everything just starts to get like weirder.
Demented.
Disgusting. I mean, like the little alarm is like me.
It started becoming demonic.
Yeah. I mean, like everything about that video is disturbing.
I think they were trying to, whether intentionally or not, try to see what they can get away with.
Oh, for sure. And not just that. I mean, like if you there's people that theorize like the meaning behind every episode and the entire underlining story and what it all means. And the creators of it have literally come forward and said there's nothing to it.
Everything beautiful.
Everything that people have theorized, like they came up with on their own. I mean, they reused assets from each video, like a number. They had like a calendar on the wall. It was always like the same day or something. I think in the last video maybe it switched a number. And so I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to tell people what it all meant. I don't know. But that was a messed up series.
Sometimes a really, really weird video does not need to have any meaning at all.
Probably the better left said, the better.
That people can speculate on their own and be horribly wrong. Whereas Die Fantasy, it wasn't until the last 3-4 years that I actually just discovered what the true meaning of that music video is. And it turned out the underage drinking or drinking in general, because there is alcohol consumed, breaking and entering. So it's almost delinquency. The video is about delinquency. Going into a pool at night through a window. People, kissing and getting into the mood and whatnot.
Sex.
And then getting into sex by foreplay and whatnot. And the French creators wanted a video to scare the younger audience, although it's never mentioned anywhere in the video itself. not in the description box on YouTube of their official video, but on some far-flung journalistic website that actually talked to the original creators and asked what was the whole purpose of that whole video, why it's so out of this world. And they just simply said, well, it's actually about safe sex practice. And to be frank, you literally turn into... I don't know.
I'm sure it probably goes beyond it just being safe. Probably scares people away from sex in general.
Or that, or it was... I think it was unsafe sex. They were trying to... I think they were trying to put an emphasis on understand what you're getting yourself into, and
if you don't protect yourself,
right, and you better deal with those consequences.
Oh yeah, sure.
Whatever ends up happening, and it made sense. Although the very end of that music video, I have no idea why that would be on safe sex, but for how grotesque and weird it is, it scared me at first watching it. But now looking back, it's like, this is still beautiful in its own right. It's just, I don't know, maybe beautiful is a strong word for that kind of video.
Mm-hmm.
There is a sense of awe, I would say, in that video, in the visual aspect.
I'm going to have to look at it again. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
What's odd is that in this chaotic video of things kind of transform, if you call it, because there's some transformation, there's some
Penises.
ugly... Yeah. Or people ripping in half to become a monster and whatnot.
Oh, so your typical anime stuff.
Yeah. Actually, it's that one anime movie...
Naruto Kadoshi.
There we go.
Legend of the Overfiend.
Xander likes that movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Xander and monster demonic penises ripping through people and buildings. As he mentioned before.
They're important. People need to see that.
It is a very strange movie.
It's so strange, but so good.
I think I may need to watch that whole movie in full, because I couldn't finish the movie.
It's
I feel
long.
like
The whole thing is long.
I feel like I may need to stand by to watch the whole thing in time just to say I've watched it.
Just the fact that I'm sure that Xander probably touched on this too, but when we don't exactly understand what's going on in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes even, and you see this kid like peeping out of like the thing they hold the balls in the basketball court. There's like a big bucket or a big barrel where they keep all the basketballs in it. And he's hiding in there, like touching himself, watching the cheerleaders. And one of the star basketball players sees him hiding in there, and he fucking whips a basketball, smashes his head against the wall, and he like gets cut or something. He ends up bleeding a little bit. And then the guy goes over there, again, the star basketball player, big hunk, everybody loves him. You know, the girls love him. Some of the guys...
Pretty much a jock.
Some of the guys love him too, probably. And he goes over there, and I'm referencing the English dub version because that's the one I kind of enjoy the most. Just because I love hearing how wrong things get translated in the English dubs. Sometimes they get it good, sometimes they fuck it way up. But he goes over there and he licks the guy. And he goes, "See you later, dickhead." And it's so homoerotic. It's so homoerotic. And I know that Xander probably touched on it. If he didn't, shame on you, Xander, for not touching on that, because it's super homoerotic. A jock licking this little dweeby, little nerd
Replacing your penis with a demon penis.
Right, and that's the whole point. At that point, we don't really realize exactly what happened there. And he stole some blood from who ends up being the main character, because that guy later on, the jock, he's like, it seemed like they portray them to be older than they seem because they're star basketball players in high school.
Yeah.
But then later on, he's at an apartment somewhere. I'm assuming it's his parents. Maybe they're not home. And it's him and two girls. And all of a sudden, his pants like light up and all this like light shoots out of his dick.
Almost like an atomic bomb.
He's like, oh my God, there's like this green light shooting out of my dick.
Doesn't he like trip backwards?
Yeah, he like falls backwards.
And then all of a sudden he's like man spreading upside down and with his junk almost looks like almost like a Dragon Ball Z explosion.
Definitely.
Except it's like a beam of green light.
Yes.
Emitting from his crotch.
And man spreading is important.
Yep, upside down man spreading.
Upside down man
And his
spreading.
facial expression is also quite confused. And
terrified.
And terrified.
What the hell's wrong with my penis?
That should be a shirt.
I have that shirt.
You have that shirt? Oh my God, you do.
It doesn't say what the hell's wrong with my penis, though. I should redo it and have that caption. What the hell is wrong with my penis?
Yeah, weird movies are fun.
Yes.
Actually, just weird things in general are just fun to watch. Even if you don't fully understand, that's the whole beauty of it.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Unless it's The Room, and that was something I would not understand, and I'm quite glad I don't.
Only other one that's stranger than that is the one that I forced you to watch.
Which one was that?
I don't have anything to hold. Eraserhead.
Oh God, that was mind-numbing.
That movie ruined Cornish hens for me.
That movie ruined dinner for me.
Like when I stock at work and I have to put Cornish hens out, every single one of them I'm like, ugh, just get it away from me.
It's gonna like move on a dinner platter and it's gonna like jizz out gravy.
Yep, ooze out gravy, spurts.
So there's some really terrible movies out there. There's obviously The Room, which is not terrible in terms of its overall production. It's terrible because of its plot and its screenwriting is just god-awful. Otherwise, it's somewhat professional compared to some of the movies I've seen, like Birdemic.
Birdemic was awful.
Yeah. In so many ways. Let's see. So there's Birdemic. There's, of course, The Beast of Yucca Flats.
Mm.
Of course, you've got The Room.
Yep.
Eraserhead was bad.
Yep. Eraserhead was bad and good.
And good, because it's... Yeah, it's not like it wasn't bad. It was just absolutely weird.
Disturbingly weird.
It's... Oh, I had nightmares of that movie. Holy moly.
I did too. I had a hard time. The whole thing is so uncomfortable to watch. It's like it's not even really meant to be seen by anyone. There's few films I can say that about. That's one of them. Oh, speaking of stocking things at work, I actually wanted to mention to you, I always try to be the more optimistic, friendly, welcoming employee at Walmart. If anybody ever sees me there, you will know it's me because I try to be friendly, even with a mask on.
You wear cat shirts.
I wear cat shirts. They look cute. And I try to be welcoming and friendly and kind. And I had a customer the other day come up to me. Actually, he wasn't really coming up to me. But he kind of went past me. And, I said, how you doing? Usually when it's in the morning before noon, I'll just say, good morning. Usually it's just morning. And people misunderstand it for good morning because it's not always a good morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I just say morning. But it was like probably around noon or afternoon. So I just said, how you doing? And this guy was like, well, I'll tell you. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. And I wish you had been there for this.
Uh-oh.
Because he said, I'd be a lot better if I didn't have to wear this face diaper.
Oh, no. That's just so many wrong visuals.
And I was like, yeah, I hear you. Me too. Because I'm not going to argue with people.
You should have started farting in your mask. Yeah, I hate it too.
I gotta go to the bathroom. My face
Oh.
diaper.
Face diaper. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, he really didn't like it. But yeah, I was, of course, completely compliant. I'm not going to sit there and argue and
Right.
try to say, well, you need, because we all know that for now, this is the standard. So I'm just going to agree with the guy and say, yeah, I know, I wish I didn't have to either.
Sometimes it's easier to agree with, like, opposing opinions just to save yourself on time.
Yep.
And not bother with anything else and say,
Because you know that conversation could get really awkward.
if you actually voice your real opinions.
It turn into an argument that just doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, I've noticed that, well, with my job,
Yeah.
anything that anyone else says, I just say, yeah, it sucks a lot. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah. You just go along with them.
I just go along with them because it's easier just to go along with it than it is to actually voice your opinion, tell what you think is right, because that's going to actually cause more issues. Some people say that erroneously, who think they're in like an environment that would necessitate having an opposite opinion of what you believe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, well, like I hate Ford products, but then all of a sudden you feel like you're in an environment where you say, oh yeah, well Ford's doing a good thing. You kind of have to like put yourself out there.
Nobody says that though.
What?
No, I shouldn't say. I don't know.
No. I'm just actually using that as an example
Got
where
it.
where you are in a work environment, and you know how some people have a problem with something and they talk about it and whatnot.
Right.
Well, oddly enough, I don't do it very often, but I tend to complain about stuff that I find no real issue with, because it's part of the environment, and they're all like this and that, and sometimes you kind of have to say something so that they don't think about, well, this guy's not thinking about anything, so are you sure he's really on our side? Just to kind of give the idea of, yeah, this person said that he doesn't like this, so I'm not going to talk about it. And then sometimes it backfires and then they talk about it.
Yep. It's funny too, at my job I had my boss, she expresses her opinions all the time, and man, she does not like that company. Walmart, she said multiple times that it's just probably the worst company she's ever worked for in her entire life. And I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, it is Walmart.
It is Walmart. I have to remind myself every day that it's just Walmart. But we're back there putting boxes in our steel bins where we store stuff, and I can just tell that she enjoys working with me because I can get her to laugh and just not care. By the end of the day, she's almost blissfully like accepting whatever the hell happens in the day. Because if you take stuff too seriously, man, it can just work.
It ruins you.
It can. Don't let it ruin you. Wherever you work, it doesn't matter where you work. Just remind yourself at the end of the day, it's just a job. Do what you can to make the most of it while you're there, and just don't bring it home with you.
You just brought up something that I'd like to talk about. It's regarding jobs and exactly what you said about not taking things seriously.
Yep.
Can I go on a pet peeve of mine about
Of course.
work and work environments and what managers expect
Oh, yeah.
of you? Here's my pet peeve. company loyalty and dedication.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I could give two shits about that.
Mm-hmm.
A company doesn't care about your brand loyalty or company loyalty and dedication and work. All they care about is that you're going to put your back into something that they're going to make more money off, and you don't see another dime.
Yeah.
I'm the person that only works the bare minimum. Now, while, yeah, Dustin, you're not able to go up in the company if you don't do that. Well, I have only gone up in the company, in my department, just for the work I already do, and I've only done the bare minimum so far, and I've already have risen as far as I could without going the extra mile every damn day.
Right.
So I've already proved that even without dedication, even without really the loyalty of the company, that you're going to, give it 110%.
Yeah.
And, make the company money. And you know what? All this and all that, and oh yeah, I'll come in on the weekend for free.
What's the banner in Office Space say? Is this good
for the company? Yeah. And you know what's sad is that exact mantra exists in my company.
Yeah, every company almost.
Only to the point of only the warehouse and operation, plant workers are only told this. Once you're in the office, you can waste as much time as you want.
Yeah.
It's the actual workers that are breaking their back to make money for the company.
Yep.
They're the ones telling, oh, hey, I just saw you do 10 steps. Like, not just processes, steps to do while doing a job. No, I'm talking about physical, using your leg steps. They literally counted my steps once to say, hey, we counted 10 steps while doing that process. You should only be doing 7.
What the hell?
And then they told me that I'm wasting company time because of 3 additional footsteps.
Wow.
That's when you also start to wonder, hey, you might enjoy what you do because it's interesting, it pays the bills, but you aren't totally bored of what you're doing. In this case, I'm not bored with what I'm doing. I just don't care about the company so much. I don't care about the department. I care about a few select group of people, and that's about it. But I will never put my heart, soul, and dedication into a company that barely pays anyone meager wages.
Not when you get shit on continual daily basis.
Yeah, and when people tell me, hey, you've done way too many steps, and I replied, actually, I did the process to the T. I did step A through C, and then D through F, and I did it to exactly specifications. Oh, no, we're not talking about that. You take way too many physical steps. And I got confused thinking, wait, what? Like, I see you step way too many times at your desk. You should only be stepping 7 times doing this job instead of 10.
Ridiculous.
And my eyes literally opened up. I never thought that it would come to a day where someone's actually literally counting the number of steps, not including what I'm doing with my hands and typing on a keyboard on a computer. Someone's actually counting my steps while I work.
Yeah.
And who cares if I do from 7 to 10 steps to do a single job? It's going to get done.
That's just micromanaging. That's asserting dominance over your employees to make them feel bad about themselves.
Yep.
What's his name in Office Space says it when he goes through a spiel about if Initech ships another couple units.
I don't see another dime.
Yeah. There's so much truth to that in your job and my job as well.
I would love to see, let's say, for example, even 50 cents. If I, as a shipper in my company that makes, in 1 year,
right.
In my company, I am the sole reason why this company exists as the main shipper. My company makes around, 65 to $68 million a year, and it won't happen without me.
Yeah. The funny thing about that, too, is companies used to be run like that. if they saw more units getting moved, the people that were involved in the process
might get a little bit of the share.
They would get shares. They would get recognition. They would get more than just a pat on the back. You can't expect people to have the same dedication
all the time,
devotion to a job when you're not rewarding them for doing more than the bare minimum.
And you know what's actually sad about that? Only one person in my entire company actually sees true potential. That if he could, and if he had the means, he would take me under his wing for me to be his assistant and potentially be his eventual replacement in sales. And this guy...
You don't want to be in sales.
I don't know about sales, but this is the only guy in the whole company that not only just says hi and says hello to my face, calls me out by my name. He also asked me,
Didn't you
hey...
say that your boss called you by your employee number one time?
Yes.
Wow.
He's actually not on just one time, on multiple occasions. My boss called me on the speakerphone, which he's only 30 or 50 feet away from where I work. He has to use the overhead announcement to call me in his office, which is literally a 10-second walk.
How many steps is that?
How many steps is that? I would probably say a good 30.
Maybe take bigger steps so they don't call you out.
And he says, 2:14, I want you in my office. That's just so insensitive. Something like that. I don't know.
That is
that's dehumanizing.
Dehumanizing. Yep.
I don't know. To me, for anyone out there who's listening, yes, I don't want to quash your dreams of moving up in a company. It will only happen if you're on a clipboard slated to be the next person to do something. In most cases, even if you get on a company and you're there 5 years, and you see a position that you want and you're first in line, you're not going to be guaranteed that position anyway. Because a company is going to literally shoehorn someone else into it that probably doesn't deserve that position as much as you should. I'm telling you this now. The moment you put sweat, tears, pain, and suffering for dedication to a company that you work at, you are literally working their deck of, or their hand deck, or literally you're playing into their hands of what they expect a worker to do. They want maximum efficiency for less pay. Even if you're making good money, all that hard work and dedication, yes, you can put dedication in what you do. Never put anything more than you're willing to put into a day's work. Because you know what? They are not going to notice you. They are not going to congratulate you for a hard day's work. I've solved a lot of problems for my company. Saved, I think it was like $110,000 error. And in the company meetings, they tell, oh, hey, way to go for such and such for fixing an issue or making a big sale. My name was never mentioned once, and it was huge.
That's too bad.
And even then, I didn't believe in any of the shit. But I thought, hey, I might maybe get mentioned once, not even in name, but someone in shipping has helped save the company a huge headache. We appreciate that. No. Not even that. Not even a pat on the back. Not any recognition. Yes, you can put the additional dedication, but it's not going to put you up in a company. It's not going to make you look better in your boss's eyes. Your boss only sees you as a worker making more profit for the company at the same hourly rate. They just want more work out of you. That's all I'm saying.
I will say that, at least in my line of work, the one thing that I've experienced, and you know this firsthand, is just being friendly, being social, being polite, can go
a long way.
miles. My store manager for the last place that I was at before I transferred to the closer Walmart, who nobody liked because he was a tough store manager. He micromanaged the crap out of that store, but he ran a good tight ship. But even he, when he found out I was transferring, he never went so far as to say, is there anything? Actually, no, I guess. No, he did. He did say, was there anything that he could do to make me stay? And the only thing I could say was more money, and he kind of laughed because he knew even he doesn't have control over that.
Right.
Those pay rates, they're controlled way above him.
Mm-hmm.
Because that company knows how
what you're
to
worth.
make, not just how much I'm worth, they know how to make their money, and they know their limitations.
Yep.
There's a cap on everybody there. And when you take a position, you can only take so many pay raises before that's it. You don't see increases anymore.
Maybe pennies for inflation, but even that is
Right.
negligible.
10 cents, 15, 20 cents.
And hourly inflation is 30 cents a year. If you're not making more than 30 cents increase every year, your job does not much care about you anymore at that point.
Right.
They pay you enough to keep you there, and thinking that amount of money is going to help keep you where you are. The moment you get a 30-cent raise, when you used to get $1 raises, or even less, but if you only get a 30-cent raise or less, you need to start looking for another company,
Yeah.
another line of work.
My whole point was, though, being a friendly individual can get you noticed.
Yes.
At least in the more retail end of it, because even my store manager literally said he was sad to see me go, and I can already tell that I'm having an impact on most of the people at this store over here as well. So, little by little, I hope to change.
The face of Walmart a store at a time.
Not just Walmart, retail in general. Sourpuss may be sour at times, but when it comes to my professionalism, man, I will be the friendliest person you ever meet.
Aww.
Even at meets, at cons, the sour part is just a front for somebody who's more caring.
It's only a persona facade.
Exactly. Not even just a persona facade, just a facade in general.
It's a caricature.
Definitely. It's every cat you've ever met, a culmination of every cat you've ever met.
He may be the most grumpiest of cats, but he will ram his face into your legs when he sees you for the first time.
Yes. And if you're wearing spandex, I will probably
Crawl all over them.
and run into you head first and smash your junk.
I think we've touched base on a lot of things today.
I think we have too. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun as always. Well, this has been another episode of the Zooming Who's podcast. Glad to have you here with us today. Until next time.
Yep.
This is Dustin.
And Kurdan Sourpuss.
Thanks for being here with us today.